internet, hello worldwide audience. My name is Rich Capitan. I'm the Education Director at the Alaska Zoo, and I'm coming to you live from our Alaska Zoo in Anchorage. And we are going to celebrate International Migratory, there's International Polar Bear Day. I'm going to turn my camera around really quick as we are going to watch our, stand by. Sorry, TikTok, you get to see my face up close. One of our zookeepers, Talia, is she is placing enrichment for our polar bears, which means she is just putting out special treats and whatnot to celebrate Polar Bear Day. And it looks like, I don't know what's in that orange concoction over there. It looks like a polar bear pop. And typically what they'll do is they'll freeze delicious things like whipped cream. It looks like there's some fish in there. Sometimes they'll put meat in there, and we all love our, and I know you love your popsicles with meat in them. Yeah, who doesn't? So, but she's putting out treats and whatnot for our bears. We always want to say that we want to make our polar bears happy, not only physically, but mentally. We want to make sure that we give them lots of things to do while they live here at the zoo. And obviously, there's a staff member, that zookeeper's in the habitat. The polar bears are separated from this habitat currently, obviously for safety, as they are polar bears. So, while we're waiting for our bears to come out again, this is International Polar Bear Day, which is held on February 27th. That was started by an entity called Polar Bears International. And that is a day to celebrate polar bears, learn about polar bears, talk about the conservation issues that polar bears face, and just kind of say how cool they really are. You'll notice that we've got some ice and snow in our habitat. If you're not from Anchorage and never been to our zoo, that's real snow. It's not artificial snow. And we just got a dusting of snow overnight. We've had a really low snow winter here in Anchorage, so we've got a little fresh snow to make things look fresh. And there's again our zookeeper. It looks like she's got a bottle of whipped cream. Oh yeah, there we go, making a cake. So obviously polar bears in a zoo are going to eat things that they wouldn't normally eat in the wild. Again, this is a carnivore. They eat meat. They eat seals. They'll eat a dead whale if they come across it. Oh, Talia's taking a photo of it. Yeah, she's proud of her cake work. But here at the zoo, they're going to eat all kinds of fun stuff. Cranberry loves romaine lettuce, which is just kind of funny. Their diets here, they eat various meat. There's something called AAA. Oh my God! Did you hear the alien sound? Yeah. So they're going to eat all kinds of different things. Fish. They actually are fed bricks of lard, like sticks of butter, but they're lard. And polar bear bodies are excellent at taking that lard, that fat, and converting it into energy. So that's what they would do in the wild as well. When you eat a seal, that's a super fatty animal with lots of blubber. A polar bear is really good at creating energy and stores of its own fat from eating that lard. So looks like she might be throwing out some kibble. Could be dog kibble, but definitely a kibble of some sort. Now, unfortunately, I can't show you the entire habitat because we're coming to you from our screens here and our iPads. But this is just kind of the front of house. This is their kind of public viewing area. They have an extensive area behind the scenes where if there's ever an oil spill, we're a first response center to bring polar bears that maybe have had an oil contamination situation. We would bring them here, clean them up, get them back to health, and then go re-release them. So we have kind of a whole setup for just that. More kibble. Oh, these bears are going to love this. You know who also is going to love this? The ravens. They're going to probably soon start to show up. Another cake, a little pop over there. If we're lucky today, we might see Kova, our younger bear, jump in the water. She loves to swim. And as I said earlier on the earlier broadcast we did, during the Olympics, Kova, our younger bear, went viral During the Olympics, with all the swimming and stuff that went on, people really loved her dive technique, and I don't know if we'll see that today, but man, they're going all out. This is great. So going back to the snow, I mentioned how it's been a low snow year here in Anchorage. That kind of ties in with polar bear conservation. Over the years, scientists have realized that there's less and less sea ice around the polar region, which directly affects polar bears. Polar bears need sea ice for lots of different reasons, but especially hunting. If there's less sea ice, that polar bear is going to have to work harder and go farther to find food, which is not good energetically, of course. If you're putting too much energy out and not getting enough in, that's not good for your body, obviously, your physiology. So with that, they have to work harder. Also, that means they're probably going to come to land more often, which means they're going to have more run-ins and encounters with people, which obviously is a complicated issue. Obviously, you want to keep people safe. You also would hopefully want to keep polar bears safe. So, yeah, ice is very important. Sea ice is very important for polar bears. So, if you do want to learn more about polar bear conservation and maybe what you can do to help polar bears, go to our website, alaskazoo.org. But definitely check out Polar Bear International. They do a lot of amazing work. I was lucky enough to go to Churchill, Manitoba. They call it the Polar Bear Capital of the World. And they do a lot of important work up there. So I did just hear a radio call that the bears, I think, are going to be making their way out on the habitat. Again, we want to make sure our staff is safe. So they are not in there at the same time. And again, we have two bears, Cranbeary and Kova. Cranberry is our bigger and older bear, and Kova is our smaller and younger bear. I can see him coming around the corner. They're taking their time. So, oh, there we go. Here we go. We've got polar bears. Look at that. This bear is Cranbeary. She's 23. Oh, there's Kova behind her. Kova just turned 3. Cranbeary is enjoying her popsicle. She is 23. She was born on Thanksgiving. She originally came from the Denver Zoo, and she's been at the Alaska Zoo since 2018. And she's about 550 pounds, which she's about average size-ish for a female. Males can get a lot larger. Males are up to 1,500 pounds. So you can see there that she's a little dirty today. That's okay. She'll just jump in her pool and wash herself off if need be. Let's look at Kova. There's Kova, our younger bear. Let's see here. Whoops, there we go. And so Kova is 3, and she's about 350 pounds. But she's obviously putting on the weight because she's just a kid still. Looks a lot cleaner than her sister. Oh, there she is using her amazing nails, amazing claws. So Kova came to us from the wild. The Alaska Zoo does help orphaned or injured wildlife, and Kova was found as a yearling. So she was less than a year old, which is pretty abnormal. Polar bear moms are excellent moms. So don't know why she was found by herself, but she was. And she started hanging around the oil fields on the north slope of Alaska. And she showed no fear of people. So she was approaching trucks. She was approaching staff. And obviously you don't want a polar bear getting too comfy with people for obvious reasons. So basically there were 2 options to have happen. Basically remove her from the situation or give her a home. And so the Alaska Zoo said, oh, we would absolutely love that. So we brought her here, and she went through a quarantine process, and then slowly she was introduced to Cranbeary. We didn't know what was going to happen. We thought, Cranbeary's an older, mature female. She's either going to love her or hate her. It turns out they absolutely adore each other. They seem to really get along. And I'm not trying to anthropomorphize. I'm not trying to put human emotions on that, but they generally seem to like to be around each other. In fact, Cranbeary got pretty complacent with her pool. She didn't swim. She swam, she did, but not a ton. Once Kova came along and was in the pool all the time, Cranbeary suddenly had a new interest in swimming. So look at that long polar bear neck. All right, I'm going to swing back over to Cranbeary. There she is. Still enjoying that pop of hers. And polar bears look pretty different from other bears. If you look at her ears, they're pretty small. Yeah, bears have pretty small ears. But that neck, got long necks. And of course, that's an adaptation to help hunt. Reach that seal and, oh, here comes Kova. Oh, looks like they want to do a little sharing of their desserts. Oh no, she stole it. Oh no, what is she doing? Oh, punk. Look at that punk kid. She stole it from her older roommate. Ah, yoink, she yoinked it. Did you see that? Well, it's like they're siblings, but they're not. But she totally stole her food. Well, again, to learn more about polar bears, definitely check out Polar Bears International. And, of course, check out the Alaska Zoo's website, alaskazoo.org. We do have a live camera 24/7 that you can watch from the comfort of your home or office or wherever you may be. It's alaskazoo.org, and then just look for Polar Bear Cam. Let's see here. So we will be going live again at 2 p.m. Alaska time here in a little bit as we celebrate International Polar Bear Day. Oh, you can see the ravens starting to gather. So ravens are really, really smart birds. Scientists have figured out they're at least as smart as a first grade kid, human, which is super, super smart. I know some first graders. And what they'll do is, if you watch them, I bet you they will. A raven will sneak up on the polar bear and pull its hair on its rear end. And the polar bear, of course, is like, stop pulling my hair, and will swing around to try to grab that raven. Well, the other ravens will swoop in and steal her food. So ravens are really, really smart birds. And again, these are visitors to the zoo. Those ravens aren't residents of the zoo. They're free to come and go whenever they want, but they know a good food source when they spot one. All right, polar bears. You gotta love them. So just again, if you're just joining us, we're celebrating International Polar Bear Day. 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 2 o'clock is when we'll be broadcasting. And this is a day to celebrate polar bears, learn about polar bears, find out, about some of the issues that polar bears are facing. And again, that biggest one really is ocean temperatures changing, even just the slightest, which is causing less sea ice. And if a polar bear has less sea ice to work with, that's not a good situation. So they've got to work harder for their food. They're going to start looking for other food sources, which means probably conflicts with people, and that's just not a good situation for people or bears, obviously. So, definitely check out our website and check out Polar Bear International's website. And the cool thing is you can give if you want to give to the Alaska Zoo, or if you want to give donations to Polar Bears International. Please do. That would be a direct support of polar bear conservation. So. Well, as they're enjoying their treats, let's dispel one myth that you may or may not know. If you're watching a show or a movie and you see maybe a polar bear drinking a Coca-Cola and hanging out with its best friend, a penguin, oh boy, we've got some stuff we got to talk about. Polar bears and penguins are on opposite sides of the planet. You're not going to see a penguin in Alaska, nor are you going to see a polar bear in Antarctica. So they are literally on other sides of the planets from each other. So just wanted to throw that out there. Look at those ravens. They're like, kibble, free kibble. I think the ravens are just as fun as watching the polar bears sometimes. Kova, the smaller bear, younger bear, she's in the back, kind of hard to see right there, but she's back there. All right, well, I want to say thank you for joining us today from the Alaska Zoo. I'm going to be back once again at 2 p.m. Alaska time to celebrate International Polar Bear Day. So if you'd like to see us again, please come back.